Okay, so hi, my name is Jasmine Gomez, and today I'm going to be presenting on Proposition 20. So, Proposition 20 will make changes regarding criminal sentencing, parole, and DNA collection. An overview of this proposition is that it would make changes to the classification of crimes and establish two additional types of crimes in state code, which are serial crime and organized retail crime, creating more felonies and violent crimes. So our first change in this proposition would affect like your sentence. So like it would determine your sentence. So the time that you will be spending in prison or jail, depending on where your crime lands on in the scale. So like the different categories it has. Secondly, it would make fewer people eligible for parole and change what parole boards must consider when making parole decisions. So it would require boards to consider an inmate's entire criminal history, not just current offenses and circumstances. This is because more people who were convicted of crimes that the average person thinks are violent are getting out early on parole. So that's why they want to make these changes. And lastly, it would reinstate DNA collection. So it would create databases that collect DNA samples for persons convicted of specific misdemeanors. And these samples would be used for cases that went cold long ago, so that's why it's important for that. And fiscal impact. So Proposition 20 would lead to an increase in state and local correctional costs, likely in the tens of millions of dollars annually, due to the increase of incarcerated Californians. Now, moving on to the supporters. Some supporters of this proposition are U.S. Representative Devin Nunes, which is a Republican, Assembly Member Jim Cooper, which is a Democrat, Assembly Member Vince Vaughn, which is a Republican, and the political party that supports this proposition is Republican Party of California. So some supporters may argue that this proposition is good because of California's definition of violent is narrowed. That's why a lot of people who commit violent crimes or different crimes that are really bad get out early on parole. So that's why they're making restrictions and changes. And now moving on to the opponents. Some opponents that oppose this proposition are former Governor Jerry Brown, which is a Democrat, and the political party that opposes this proposition is the California Democratic Party. So, opponents may argue that the changes that Proposition 20 will make cost tens of millions of dollars every year on a failed approach to crime that California and other states have already learned that doesn't work. So basically, the changes that Proposition 20 would make wouldn't work. Voting yes means that you will support the initiative to change criminal sentencing, parole, and DNA collection, and voting no means that you oppose the initiative to change criminal sentencing, parole, and DNA collection. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alonso. This is Proposition 21, the Local Rent Control Initiative. Its main purpose is to reform the coastal holdings rather to fully repeal as Proposition 10, which was tried to do in 2018. It allows local communities to institute or expand rent control, which would limit the increase of rent and preserve affordable housing. The majority of renters in California pay 50% more for housing than renters in other states like Nevada or New York, for example. Rent is high in California because the state does not have enough housing for all of its population. People who want to live in California mainly have to compete for housing, which therefore increases the rent. Proposition 21 brings stability to senior and veteran citizens. The most impacted people with rent increases are senior and veteran citizens. After paying high amounts of rent, they are left with a minimal amount of money to pay for food, healthcare, and other necessities. It helps its essential workers such as teachers and nurses who struggle to find affordable housing due to the high increments in rent. Proposition 21 will ensure that communities provide citizens with affordable housing and also encourages the construction of new homes around the communities. Proposition 21 will help children, parents, senior citizens, and essential workers on staying in their homes at affordable prices. Cons. It reduces home values up to 20%. MIT estimate extreme rent control measures like this result is an average reduction of 20%, which is equal to $150,000. It allows extreme regulations. Proposition 21 allows local governments to establish extreme regulations on any aspect of housing. If a tenant moves out, property owners are unable to establish rents at market rates or pay for upgrades and or investments. Supporters: U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, U.S. Representative Maxine Waters, Democrat, the California Democratic Party, Dolores Huerta, co-founder of the United Farm Workers Association, Michael Weinstein, president of the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, California Nurses Association, the ACLU of Southern California, the Aviation Defense Network, Los Angeles Tenants Union, the National Lawyers Guild from Los Angeles. Now, a ballot poll measure was conducted a while ago with 5,942 people. 37% supported this proposition, and 37% opposed this proposition, and 26% declared undecided. Thank you.